There comes a time when silence surrounds you and nothing makes sense. That's not confusion. It's construction. You are not being ignored. You are being engineered. When God is about to give you something big, He doesn't shout it. He prepares you in private, away from noise, away from comfort, away from distractions. Because greatness never grows in the crowd. It grows in the cave. And if you're in the cave right now, count it joy. You're next in line. The pressure you're under isn't punishment, it's prophecy. Heavy resistance is not a red light. It is a sign that you are nearing the gate. And the gate only opens when your capacity matches your calling. You say it hurts? Good. Diamonds are made under pressure. Gold is refined by fire. Champions are carved by conflict. What you're feeling right now is labor pain, and labor pain is proof that delivery is near. Many quit when the process gets intense, not realizing that intensity is the midwife of increase. You prayed for power, now you're in the process. You asked for vision, now you're in the valley. God will test your mind before He trusts your hands. He will break your limits before He releases your blessing. So if you're waiting, wait strong. Delay is not denial. Delay is design. Let me tell you what nobody wants to say. Big blessings require big obedience. If God told you to move, move. If He told you to cut ties, cut them. If He told you to stay silent, shut your mouth. Obedience is not optional. It is the currency of the kingdom. You don't negotiate with destiny. You submit. You trust. You walk blind when necessary, because the bridge to breakthrough is built in the dark. If it feels like all hell is breaking loose around you, you're not cursed, you're called. Hell doesn't fight empty hands. The attack means you carry something valuable. The enemy doesn't waste bullets on blanks. He's coming at you because what's in you is real. And once you realize that, fear has no seat at your table. You are not under attack. You are under construction. And construction is confirmation. When God is about to give you something big, He hides you. He humbles you. He hammers you into shape. He strips you of pride, of ego, of excuses. You can't carry the blessing if your hands are full of baggage. You want elevation? Then let go. Let go of what's familiar. Let go of who you were. Because what's coming next is not an upgrade, it's a transformation, and transformation always costs comfort. So here's the bottom line. Stay sharp, stay submitted, stay silent until it's time to speak. And when the doors open, walk through like you've already seen the vision, because you have, not with your eyes, but with your faith. And faith, real faith, is the language of destiny. So stop doubting, stand up, get ready, because when God is about to give you something big, the only thing He requires is that you're ready to receive it. Divine delay is not denial. It's the ultimate test of trust, the moment where most people break because they mistake silence for absence. But hear this clearly. Just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it's not going to. Delay is not God forgetting you. It's Him forming you. You think He's late, but He's on a different clock. His timeline doesn't bend to your impatience. His pace is perfect. His process is surgical, and His promise is still. And when you don't see movement, that's not rejection. It's refinement. You are not being punished. You are being positioned. There's a reason why the greatest victories are born after the longest waits. You don't rush royalty. You don't microwave miracles. God is not interested in giving you something you're not ready to carry. What good is a blessing if it breaks you when it lands? So He holds it back, not to tease you, but to toughen you. Not to deny you, but to develop you. You prayed for strength. Now, you prayed for growth. Now He's giving you pressure. This isn't a no. This is preparation disguised as delay. Those people fail because they walk away too soon. They see nothing happening on the surface, so they assume the roots aren't growing beneath. But you can't plant a seed and dig it up every week to check if it's growing. That's not faith, that's fear. You have to trust the soil even when it looks empty. God is not in the business of quick fixes. He's building legacy, not lottery wins. He's writing a generational script, not a temporary scene. That kind of power takes time. That kind of favor takes fire. And if you're in the fire, you're in the factory of the future. Understand this. Every second of silence is intentional. Every closed door is strategic. Every delay is measured. When it feels like you're standing still, you're actually being pulled back like a slingshot. The farther you're pulled, the farther you'll fly. But only if you don't quit in the tension. If you break under the pressure, you abort the mission. If you walk away in the weight, you cancel the miracle. You have to be stronger than your mood. You have to be grounded in purpose, not driven by feeling. Feelings will lie, but faith will lead. Stop comparing your timeline to theirs. God isn't preparing you for what they have. He's preparing you for what only you can carry. Their highlight reel is not your blueprint. What looks like a delay to you might be divine protection. You wanted the platform, but he saw the trap. You wanted the connection, but he saw the chain. You wanted the relationship, but he saw the ruin. You thought it was a blessing, but he knew it was a burden, and when he said, "Not yet," that was mercy, that was love. That was God stepping in and saying, "I will not let you settle for less than what I planned." You have to hold the vision even when you can't see the results. This is where real warriors are made, not in the spotlight, but in the shadows. Not when everything's going right, but when nothing seems to move. Can you keep showing up when nothing's changing? Can you keep believing when there's no confirmation? That's the test. That's the gap between the called and the chosen. The called get excited by the promise. The chosen endure the process. The called shout in the beginning. The chosen endure in the silence. It's not about hype. It's about holding on. The enemy's biggest tactic in the delay is distraction. He wants you to think God changed his mind. He wants you to believe it's over. But God's not done. He's just building you until you're unshakable. You don't get elevation without excavation. He's digging deep because the foundation must be strong. He's taking his time because what he's building in you is meant to last. You don't need fast favor. You need durable destiny. You don't need quick wins. You need eternal weight. So stop asking why me and start asking what now. Stop begging for the exit and start embracing the endurance. There's a version of you on the other side of this weight that can't be shaken. A version that knows how to walk by faith, not by sight. A version that doesn't fold under pressure. A version that leads, not reacts. That speaks life, not doubt. That version is being born right now in the waiting room. In the late nights when nothing makes sense. In the early mornings when fear tries to crawl in. In the days where you feel invisible. That's where giants are made. That's where faith is forged. That's where destiny finds its shape. So keep standing. Keep trusting. Keep grinding in silence. You are not forgotten. You are not off track. You are not behind. You are right where he wants you. Every delay is a signal that something bigger is being set up. Every moment of waiting is a brick in the foundation. And when the time comes, when the heavens open and the doors swing wide, it won't just be an answer. It will be an explosion. What felt like a lifetime of waiting will suddenly make sense. You will not remember the pain. You will not remember the delay. You will only remember that he was faithful. And when that moment comes, you won't just receive it, you'll be ready to carry it, because divine delay was never denial. It was God's hand holding it, shaping it, timing it, so that when it arrives, it doesn't crush you, it crowns you. Pressure precedes promotion. Always. If you're under pressure right now, it's not a sign that you're losing, it's proof that you're being lifted. Promotion never arrives quietly. It comes with weight, it comes with fire, it comes with the kind of pressure that tests every part of you. Pressure exposes cracks, but it also creates diamonds. God uses pressure as a tool to purify you, not punish you. You're not being buried, you're being built. The heavier the pressure, the higher the calling. So don't pray the pressure away. Learn how to push through it. Because pressure is not your enemy, it's your evidence. If you're asking why it's getting harder, the answer is simple. Because you're getting closer. Elevation attracts opposition. The moment you step toward purpose, resistance rises. And it's not random. It's targeted. The weight you feel is the weight of your next level pressing against your current form. You have to expand to receive it. You have to stretch to step into it. The pressure isn't proof you're failing. It's proof that God is expanding your capacity. Your shoulders are being prepared for responsibility. Your character is being carved for credibility. Your spirit is being tested for strength. Because what's coming isn't small, it's heavy, and only the strong can carry it. You can't ask for greatness and expect ease. You can't cry out for destiny and then complain when it costs you comfort. The path to promotion is paved with problems. That's how God sees what's inside of you. Talk is cheap. Comfort is a trap. Faith is proven under pressure. Anyone can praise when things are easy, but can you worship when the walls are closing in? Can you stay focused when your mind is under attack? Can you keep moving when everything in you wants to quit? That's the test. And that test is the gateway to the throne. Look at every champion, every one of them had a breaking point. But the difference is they didn't break down, they broke through. They felt the same pressure you're feeling now. The loneliness, the confusion, the delay, the resistance. But they pushed, they pressed, they refused to fold. Pressure isn't sent to destroy you. It's sent to draw something out of you that ease never could. It activates your hidden potential. It reveals your real hunger. It forces you to stop relying on your own strength and start trusting in something greater. And here's the truth. No one likes to admit. Some promotions are delayed because the pressure scared you off. You saw the storm and ran. You felt the weight and quit. You got tired and gave up right before the shift. But next time, don't run, don't retreat, don't fold. Pressure doesn't last forever. But the reward on the other side does. That door you've been praying for, it doesn't open for the weak. It swings wide for the one who was forged in fire and didn't flinch. You want favor? Carry the fire. You want authority? Survive the attack. You want promotion? Endure the pressure. This is not the season to play it safe. This is not the time to question your identity. This is the moment to remember who you are and why you started. Pressure turns average people into assassins of doubt. It turns passive believers into powerful warriors. But only if you stop looking for shortcuts. Only if you stop asking for the pain to end and instead ask for the strength to endure it. That's the difference between the few who rise and the many who fold. The few welcome pressure like a soldier welcomes a mission. They know it's painful, but they also know it's purposeful. Pressure reveals what you're really made of. It's the training ground for responsibility. God won't promote you until you can carry what comes with it. You want more? Handle more. You want influence? Handle criticism. You want leadership? Handle the weight of other people's expectations. The promotion you're praying for has pressure attached to it, and if you can't endure it now, you'll collapse under it later. That's why He's allowing it now. He's testing your stamina. He's checking your resilience. Because what's coming will require both. And yes, it's going to feel unfair sometimes. Yes, it's going to feel like you're carrying more than your share. But don't curse the pressure. Bless it. It's the last step before the door opens. It's the final exam before the release. You've been prepared. You've been processed. Now you're being proven. The pressure isn't a setback. It's your setup. It's the sign that heaven is leaning in and saying, now, let's see what you're really made of. You're stronger than you think. You're closer than you realize. And if you don't faint, if you don't fold, if you don't quit, there will come a day when the pressure lifts, the doors open, and the promotion arrives. And when it does, you won't question if you earned it. You'll know. You'll stand there, not as a victim of the process, but as a victor over it. Because you didn't just survive the pressure, resistance is proof of proximity. The attack didn't show up because you're off course, it showed up because you're near the target. Nobody fires at a ghost, nobody fights a threat that isn't real. The resistance around you right now is not a curse, it's confirmation. It's not chaos, it's clarity. Something is about to shift and the enemy knows it. He's not reacting to where you are, he's reacting to where you're about to go. When resistance increases, revelation is near. When warfare intensifies, breakthrough is close. You're not far, you're on the edge. The closer you get to destiny, the louder the distractions become. That's not coincidence, it's strategy. The enemy doesn't fight what isn't rising. He doesn't waste time on what isn't moving. You think the pressure is proof you're not ready, but it's actually evidence that you're right there. That attack you're facing, that voice in your head, that weight on your chest, that's resistance. And resistance is a compass. It tells you you're facing the right direction. You're not being blocked, you're being built, you're not being pushed back. You're being proven worthy of the next level. Some people misunderstand resistance. They take it as a red light. They stop, they doubt, they collapse. But those who carry real fire know better. They know that resistance is the friction that sharpens the sword. They know the presence of opposition means they're carrying something heavy. A weak person runs from resistance. A warrior leans into it. Because a warrior knows this: no resistance means no progress. No pressure means no promotion. No battle means no blessing. Every step toward greatness brings new levels of warfare. The higher you go, the thinner the air, the stronger the wind. You're not just climbing, you're contending. You're pushing through things your ancestors never broke. You're shattering ceilings built over generations. And that kind of movement triggers alarms in the spirit. It awakens enemies that have been asleep. It stirs resistance that's been lying in wait. The opposition you face is custom fit for your calling. It knows exactly what you're about to touch. It knows what you're about to walk into. That's why it's showing up now. You prayed for influence, resistance came. You asked for purpose, warfare hit. You stepped out in faith and hell pushed back. That's not rejection, that's recognition. Heaven recognizes your obedience. Hell recognizes your momentum. Resistance doesn't show up in your weakness, it shows up in your shift. It doesn't attack your past, it fights your future. It's not there because you're lost, it's there because you're aligned. And if you quit now, you hand the victory over before the battle even breaks. You hand the keys to the enemy before you ever touch the door. Understand this. Every attack on your life is designed to make you forget what's ahead. Distraction is a weapon. Discouragement is a trap. But when you feel resistance, don't panic. Pause and ask, what am I close to? Because something is shifting in the unseen. Something is breaking behind the curtain. That closed door is rattling. That locked gate is weakening. And the resistance is just proof that the enemy is scared of what's about to be released. You are not under attack because you're weak. You are under attack because you're dangerous. So what do you do when resistance comes? You don't run. You rise. You don't bow. You break through. You remind yourself who you are and who sent you. You plant your feet, clench your fists, and press. Not because it's easy, but because it's essential. You didn't come this far to fall back. You didn't survive the storm just to drown in the drizzle. You didn't make it through hell just to quit on the edge of heaven. There is something on the other side of this wall, and the resistance is your proof. You're not imagining it. The pressure is real. The fight is real. But so is the promise. So is the purpose. So is the plan. You were not built for comfort. You were built for conquest. You were not designed to coast. You were designed to crush. That's why it's hard. That's why it hurts. That's why you wake up with a weight on your spirit. It's not depression, it's divine intensity. You're being pulled forward even when it feels like you're standing still. And the resistance is your sign. So dig in. Refuse to be moved. Refuse to back down. You didn't ask for this war, but you were born for it. The pressure around you is not here to destroy you. It's here to discover you. The resistance you feel is not the end of the story. It's the proof that the next chapter is close. Do not fold. Do not waver. You are too close, too anointed, too assigned, too chosen to collapse under pressure now. This resistance is not your tomb. It is your turning point. And when the breakthrough comes, and it will, you look back and realize that the resistance didn't stop you. It shaped you. It didn't block you. It built you. It was never proof that you failed. It was proof that you were about to win. Vision demands preparation. It doesn't show up to entertain you. It arrives to transform you. The moment you receive a real vision, everything changes. You can't think the same, move the same, live the same. Vision wrecks comfort. It interrupts routine. It shakes you out of shallow living and pulls you into divine assignment. But what most people don't understand is that vision comes with a cost. You don't step into vision without stepping through preparation. You don't inherit destiny without embracing discipline. God gives glimpses, not guarantees. And if you want to carry the weight of that glimpse, you better be willing to train in silence. Everyone wants the glory of the vision, but few are willing to endure the grind that builds it. because vision doesn't work without preparation. The bigger the vision, the deeper the process. The greater the future, the stricter the refining. Vision doesn't just change your dreams, it demands a new version of you. The one who received the vision is not the one who will fulfill it. That person has to be developed, formed, crushed, and reshaped, molded through pressure, refined through fire. That's why the waiting season feels like wilderness, because you're not just being delayed, you're being designed. You prayed for vision, and then all hell broke loose. That's not a contradiction. That's confirmation. The enemy always attacks preparation. He wants to abort the process before you gain the strength to carry the promise. You ask for purpose now, you're being isolated. You ask for influence now, you're being hidden. You ask for clarity now, everything around you feels like fog. That's not failure, that's formation. You're not being ignored, you're being instructed, you're not stuck. You're stationed. God is not slow, He's strategic. Vision will cost you the version of yourself that settles. It will pull you away from the crowd. It will put you in places where nobody claps, nobody sees, and nobody understands. But that's where weapons are sharpened. That's where endurance is built. Vision demands separation because distractions are fatal to destiny. If you're constantly surrounded by noise, you'll never hear instruction. If you're constantly looking for applause, you'll miss alignment. You can't prepare for elevation while begging for validation. The two don't mix. If you want the vision, you have to want the process that builds it. Preparation is private. The world sees the moment, but God sees the months of unseen obedience. The late nights, the early mornings, the prayers you didn't post, the battles you fought in silence. That's what qualifies you. That's what makes you dangerous. Because when the vision arrives in full and the doors open wide, it won't just be talent that got you there, it'll be training. You didn't just wish for it. You worked for it. You didn't just see it. You prepared for it. And that's what makes you unstoppable. Vision doesn't come to those who are lazy. It comes to the disciplined, to the ones who can handle not yet without walking away, to the ones who can train like it's tomorrow even when the calendar says nothing. Preparation is the test most people fail because it comes without recognition. It's the work before the reward. It's the grind before the glory. But those who last long enough in the dark are the ones who shine brightest in the light. If you're in the shadows right now, good, stay there. That's where God does His best work. You think you're behind because it hasn't happened yet, but God's not building a moment, He's building a movement, and movements take time. He's preparing your heart, your mind, your environment, your connections. Every delay is strategic. Every closed door is calculated. Every lonely night is making you lethal. You're not being punished, you're being positioned. Vision demands readiness. You can't carry the weight of the calling until your soul is trained to handle it, because what God gives you is never just for you. It's for others. And if you collapse under pressure, others will too. That's why the preparation is so intense, because the purpose is so massive. If you really believe the vision is real, act like it. Build when nobody believes. Work when nobody's watching. Serve when nobody says thank you. Obey when nothing makes sense. Because vision without preparation is just fantasy. It looks good in your mind, but it falls apart in your hands. But when preparation meets vision, momentum is born. When discipline meets destiny, nothing can stop you. That's when heaven breathes on your effort. That's when doors open without you knocking. That's when the weight of what you carry becomes undeniable. So don't despise the grind. Don't rush the proving ground. Don't beg for shortcuts. Preparation is not punishment, it's permission. It's the divine signature that says, I'm making you ready. And when God makes you ready, no man can unmake you, no delay can destroy you, no devil can disqualify you. You become unshakable, untouchable, focused, because you didn't skip steps. You didn't cheat the climb. You embraced every layer of the process and became the person the vision requires. And when the vision finally manifests, when the dream unfolds and the room you prayed for becomes the room you own, you won't be surprised. You'll be prepared, not because it was easy, not because it came fast, but because you honored the preparation that power demands. Isolation is God's workshop. It's where noise dies and clarity is born. It's where distractions are stripped and destiny is shaped. God doesn't do His greatest work in the spotlight. He does it in the silence. He doesn't mold champions in front of crowds. He carves them in caves. If you're in a season where no one understands you, where the phone stopped ringing, where the room got quiet and the friends vanished, don't panic. That's not punishment. That's precision. You're not being left behind. You're being pulled aside. The most dangerous people in the world are not the ones surrounded by noise. They're the ones who embraced the silence and came out refined. Isolation is not about loneliness. It's about alignment. When God isolates you, He's removing interference. He's tearing away anything that could sabotage the assignment. The voices you lost were necessary. The invitations you stopped receiving were divine redirections. The platform you once stood on was too small for where He's taking you, so He pulled you out to pour in, pulled you away to prepare you, because what's coming next can't be carried by someone who still needs a crowd to feel confident. The crowd will cheer for your gift, but God will train your character. And character doesn't get developed in applause. It gets developed in the dark. The workshop is uncomfortable. It's not glamorous. It's not loud. But it's where warriors are formed. In isolation, you face yourself. You face your fears, your flaws, your patterns, your pain. And in that place, God does the hard work, the soul work, the transformation nobody sees, but everybody will feel. Because when you reemerge, they won't recognize you. Not because you changed your clothes, but because you changed your core. Stop looking at isolation like a setback. It's a strategy. God doesn't isolate what He's rejecting. He isolates what He's protecting. You're not in hiding because you're irrelevant. You're in hiding because you're invaluable. He's building something in you that can't be rushed, something that requires silence to survive. Oil doesn't come from surface pressure. It comes from deep pressing. And the deeper you're being pulled, the greater the oil you'll carry. You're not behind schedule. You're in the chamber, the place where noise dies and power is born. You ask God to use you, and then everything familiar disappeared. That's not contradiction, it's confirmation. Before He uses a vessel, He empties it. Before He fills you with fire, He clears out the fluff. Isolation exposes every false identity, everything you built on popularity, everything you trusted for validation. All of it is stripped until there's nothing left but Him and you. That's the workshop. That's where giants fall and real faith rises. That's where your roots go deep so your reach can go wide. People will misunderstand your silence. Let them. They'll call it withdrawal, depression, failure. Let them. This workshop isn't for theme, it's for you. Let them measure your process by their pace. Let them laugh while you train. Let them speak while you listen. Because when the doors open again, it won't be them walking through it, it'll be you. Refined, focused, ready. Not just to be seen, but to stand. Not just to speak, but to shake atmospheres. Because the workshop doesn't just build people, it births weapons. Don't confuse silence with insignificance. Just because it's quiet doesn't mean nothing's happening. God is moving in the stillness. He's upgrading your vision, stretching your discipline, cleaning your motives. He's removing relationships that couldn't carry the weight, breaking cycles that would have sabotaged the call. You're not losing, you're leveling. And that can only happen in a place where the crowd can't distract you, where the comments can't reach you, where the spotlight can't touch you. You're in the safest place you can be. His hands, in His workshop, under His supervision. This season is not punishment, it's permission. God is giving you room to grow without interruption. He's allowing your roots to go deep enough so when the storm comes later, you won't fold. This is not exilites elevation in disguise. It's not distance from destiny. It's the doorway to it. And when you start to see isolation this way, you stop resenting it and start respecting it. You stop trying to escape and start trying to extract every ounce of wisdom from it. Because you know something, the world forgot true power is developed in private. Let them think you disappeared. Let them forget your name. Because when God is done with you in this place, they won't just remember you, they'll wonder how they missed what He was building. You won't return the same. You won't speak the same. You won't walk the same. You'll walk out of that workshop with authority, with clarity, with weight, because you weren't scrolling, you were sharpening. You weren't chasing fame, you were chasing fire, and now the fire will go with you. So don't despise the quiet. Don't fight the stillness. Don't rush the process. Stay submitted. Stay disciplined. Stay hidden as long as it takes. Because what's being built in the workshop isn't ordinary. It's not trendy. It's not shallow. It's kingdom. And kingdom impact requires kingdom preparation. That's why he pulls you aside. That's why the lights went out. Not because he forgot you, because he's forming you. Because when you leave this place, you'll be unshakable. And that's exactly what the next season will require. Obedience unlocks overflow. Not hustle, not hype, not shortcuts. Obedience. That quiet, consistent, unwavering yes to what you know you were told to do, even when it doesn't make sense, even when it doesn't feel good, even when no one else sees it. That's the key. That's the code. That's what heaven responds to. Not your status, not your following, not your talent, but your obedience. Because obedience proves trust, and trust positions you for power. You don't walk in overflow by accident, you walk into it by alignment. And alignment only comes through obedience. There is a reason you feel the pull to stay faithful in a season that looks fruitless. There is a reason the instruction doesn't come with an explanation. God doesn't ask for your understanding, he asks for your obedience. Because obedience is not about control, it's about preparation. It's about positioning. You're not being tested to be teased, you're being trained to be trusted. When you obey, you're not just following a rule, you're stepping into rhythm with heaven. You're syncing your feet with divine timing, and that rhythm always leads to overflow. Every miracle in Scripture was preceded by an act of obedience. Not a speech, not a debate, not a plan, just a step, just a word, just an act that looked small but unlocked something massive. Noah didn't wait for rain to build the ark, he obeyed before the forecast. Abraham didn't wait for understanding, he obeyed and walked. Moses didn't wait for Pharaoh to agree, obeyed and stretched his rod. Jesus didn't wait for applause. He obeyed all the way to the cross. Obedience always looks foolish before it looks fruitful. But if you can handle looking crazy, you'll eventually look chosen. The reason many never walk in overflow is because they quit too early. They question the process. They need proof before they move. But faith doesn't work like that. Obedience is doing what he said when there's no evidence yet. And that kind of obedience builds a vessel that can hold overflow. Because God won't pour abundance into disobedience. He won't bless rebellion. He won't anoint confusion. But he will always honor obedience. Not perfect performance, but submitted obedience. A surrendered heart. A willing spirit. A consistent yes. Overflow doesn't come to the loud, it comes to the loyal. It doesn't find the flashy, it finds the faithful. The ones who kept showing up when it didn't feel like it. The ones who kept building when no one clapped. The ones who kept sowing when the soil looked dry. You can't fake obedience. Heaven knows, heaven sees, and heaven rewards. You may not get instant applause, but you will get eternal acceleration. God will fast-track what your faith prepared for. He will multiply what your obedience made room for. He will breathe on what your yes kept alive. That instruction you're sitting on, that prompting you've ignored, that whisper you keep pushing aside, it's not random, it's not small, it's the gateway, it's the test. And until you move on that word, the next one won't come. God doesn't give overflow to the double-minded, he gives it to the disciplined. Obedience sharpens your discernment. It trains your ears to hear. And when you hear clearer, you move faster. And when you move faster, you collide with favor. Not the favor you had to beg for, but the kind that overtakes you. The kind that finds you in the field because you stayed planted when others ran. Obedience doesn't always make you popular. Sometimes it costs you relationships. Sometimes it costs you comfort. But it always births something greater. There's a reason why the biggest breakthroughs come after the hardest instructions, because God isn't just after your gifts, he's after your growth. He's not just building moments, he's building maturity. You're not waiting on overflow. Overflow is waiting on obedience. When you obey, you unlock what effort could never achieve. You step into grace that grind can't match. You step into ease that hustle can't manufacture. It might feel slow. It might feel small. But every act of obedience is creating a crack in the dam. And one day, without warning, it will burst. The doors will swing open. The opportunities will collide. The blessing will chase you down and overwhelm you. And it won't be luck. It won't be coincidence. It will be the reward of every quiet step, every faithful day. Every obedient decision made when it would have been easier to quit. You will not have to force overflow. You will not have to fabricate favor. You will just have to stay aligned. So check your posture. Check your heart. Are you obeying fully or selectively? Are you moving by convenience or by conviction? Partial obedience is still disobedience. Delayed obedience is still disobedience. And obedience with conditions is manipulation. But full obedience immediate, humble, God-first obedience changes everything. It unlocks peace. It unlocks power. It unlocks provision. It unlocks overflow. Not because you earned it, but because you positioned yourself to carry it. When you live in obedience, you don't chase things. Things chase you. The blessing overtakes the obedient. The oil flows on the obedient. The vision expands for the obedience. You don't have to strive. You just have to stay in step. And when the overflow comes, it won't be because of your strategy. It will be because of your surrender. So when the overflow shows up, when doors fly open that you didn't knock on, when provision shows up that you didn't plan for, when favor surrounds you like a shield and everything accelerates beyond logic, don't get it twisted. It wasn't luck. It wasn't charm. It wasn't manipulation. It was obedience. Quiet, relentless, uncomfortable obedience. That's what unlocked it. That's what made heaven move. That's what broke the dam and released the flood. So don't stop. Don't second guess. Don't slow down. Keep saying yes. Keep moving forward. Keep trusting when it doesn't make sense, because obedience doesn't just unlock overflow, it sustains it. And once you taste that kind of flow, you'll never settle for anything less.